Now time for the 7 things you'll be talking about today. Number 7.
You know, I like Nick Saban, hard worker, great guy, lots of charity stuff. And I like the idea of putting him on a co-chair for Donald Trump's administration's Commission on College Football. I think it's actually college sports, but either way, I like what they're doing. I like what they're doing. I like how they're covering this. I like it. Now, there are a lot of people who are complaining about this as well. There are some people who are suggesting that Nick Saban's hatred for NIL is going to cause a problem. They're referencing some comments he made a couple of years, maybe it was earlier this year, about how we need to have basically 40 big teams in college football, and the rest are just can be tossed away. That's never going to happen. We can talk about why. I'll tell you why. Imagine you're a member of Congress and they say they're going to close your university. Let's just pick a team out of nowhere. Let's just say the University of Colorado. How crazy is that going to go? Never going to happen. I'm not worried about that. He's a good choice for this.
Number 6.
Alariza DeRudy, a University of Alabama student, was, I guess, about to get deported. Says he'll leave on his own. Yeah, he said he will leave on his own and said goodbye. Yeah, he said, I'm going to leave. He said, they don't want me here, so I should leave. To which I go, yeah, I mean, that's exactly right. They think you're a national security threat. You had a hearing where you couldn't prove that you weren't a national security threat. They've revoked your visa, and now you can go back. Now, you don't get access, by the way, to the $1,000 for the self-deportation. You're not going to get that, but you can go. They don't want me here, so he is voluntarily self-deporting himself to Iran. To which I say, neat.
Number 5.
The city of Birmingham is finding itself in the 7 things twice today, and none of it's for a good reason. No, it's not. You have the former Birmingham Waterworks Board has been dissolved. They've remade it, but the city is trying to pull a fast one by buying up all the assets of the Birmingham Waterworks Board, but they've already been disbanded. They can't do that. And now it looks like they're going to find themselves in some legal trouble with the Attorney General of the state of Alabama, as they should. They're trying to pull a fast one. Attorney General Marshall said, we do not believe that they have the authority to do this. Quote, our office remains committed to upholding the law and protecting the people of Alabama from politically motivated decisions that jeopardize essential services. So the Birmingham City Council voted to ratify that sale, but they don't have the authority to sell it because the board doesn't exist anymore, and this is a scam.
Number 4.
Speaking of Birmingham, the mayor of that city, Randall Woodfin, is once again trying to play his maxed out race card. And he loves to play the race card. Holy cow, over the last couple of years, we have heard all sorts of things are racist. DEI, ending that, racist. Yep. Not letting them do gun control. That's racist. The Birmingham Waterworks Board, not letting them end that. That's racist. Their crime problem, trying to stop that, racism. Climate change, racism. By the way, these are all just things that Randall Woodfin has said are racist, and that's the problem. The latest thing, regulating THC products. He says this hurts black-owned businesses disproportionately. I don't know if this is true, that black-owned businesses are disproportionately in the vape business. I don't know if that's true, and it shouldn't matter. The reality is they need to regulate this stuff because it's gotten a little wild, wild west. It's not racist in any way, shape, or form.
Number 3.
Oh, yes, we've got an American Pope, everybody. Everyone should be pretty excited about this, but I am watching some of my more conservative friends talk online about how they're not too excited about this, but I don't think they're Catholics. I'm not saying you have to be to have an opinion on this, but they're upset that his opinions are probably a little more to the left of where they stand. Well, I'll tell you, probably. He's a Catholic, so at least he's pro-life. He's anti-gay marriage. He's anti all this gender identity nonsense. But he's pro-immigration and pro-gun control. So these are some of the things they have a problem with. He's also fired off some tweets One that says this about J.D. Vance on the issue of immigration. J.D. Vance is wrong. Jesus doesn't ask us to rank our love for others. So he's made some anti-Trump comments.
Number 2.
All right. We're still doing this. We're still doing this whole thing. Tommy Tuberville to decide what he's going to do next soon. What do you mean he's going to decide? They took an interview that I did with him yesterday, and I say they because it was Yaffe. Took an interview I did yesterday with Tommy Tuberville. The headline is Tuberville to decide soon on running for governor. Ainsworth says he doesn't have much of an interest in running for Senate. So Ainsworth said that on a radio interview as well. But I think they're both going to do just that. Tuberville is going to run for governor, and then Ainsworth is probably going to run for United States Senate. So I think this is interesting. One thing Ainsworth did say here, he said, obviously there's some big names out there, but hey, I've been the underdog before, and if that happens again, that would be a lot of fun. And that's kind of where I thought I could help the state at the best is as governor, but we'll see what happens. Could he actually run against Tuberville? I don't think so.
Now, time for the number 1 thing you'll be talking about today.
All right, we got that first trade deal. What does that first trade deal mean? Well, it means a couple of things. One, you got one in the bank. That's important. Okay, so you take that victory and look at that and say, okay, that is a very good thing. Now, here's what you get from this. You get more market access for America. And more access, especially agriculture, beef, ethanol, stuff like this, created by farmers. There will be more of that in the UK. Now, some of the issues at hand is some of the barriers to entry in the UK when it comes to food. There's some questions about how they're going to reduce those barriers and what they're going to do there. So the goal is to increase American markets, and Donald Trump believes he has done just that. There's a $5 billion opportunity for new exports for U.S. farmers and ranchers, $700 million in ethanol exports, $250 million in other agricultural products like beef. It commits the countries to work together to enhance industrial and agricultural market access, closes loopholes, and increases U.S. firms' competitiveness. The UK, they're talking about streamlining the procurement process and how it gets through customs and stuff like that. Establishes high standard commitments in areas of intellectual property, labor, and environment, and maximizes the competitive and secures the supply chain of the U.S. aerospace manufacturers through preferential access to high-quality UK aerospace components, meaning how they trade back and forth parts for that. So that's kind of good as well. And there's a supply chain issue they kind of want to work on as well. The reciprocal 10% tariff rate is still in effect, but when it comes to vehicles, the Trump administration has lowered the tariffs on UK vehicles, the first 100,000 of those that will come into the country. So that's basically the gist of it. More markets for American farmers. They're going to sell airplanes and things like that to the UK, pharmaceutical partnerships and things like that they're working on as well. So the first trade deal is almost in the books. But the victory is there, so everyone should be happy about that. That's where we're at. That's where we stand on trade. They're meeting with China this weekend. Hopefully we'll have a similar outcome before all is said and done and relatively soon. Got to start making these trade deals. It's got to happen soon, so we'll stay on top of that as well. Let's take a quick time out. We'll return right here on The Dale Jackson Show.
Get WVNN's Dale Jackson's 7 Things You Should Be Talking About today, right in your email box every morning. Go to yellowhammernews.com and sign up today.